Get ready for action, because we are diving straight into the biggest stories dominating the news today. We start with the Seattle Seahawks, as first-round pick Jadarian Price joins head coach Mike Macdonald and general manager John Schneider for a major media introduction at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center. We break down exactly what this means for the team and the future of the franchise.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we have major federal action shaking up healthcare funding. The Trump administration has officially notified Minnesota that it is deferring an additional $91 million in Medicaid funding due to fresh concerns about fraud vulnerabilities in state-run programs. With Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator Dr. Mehmet Oz speaking on the situation. Now, we turn to personal news, as we mark a somber moment with the obituary for Venetta M. Agnew, providing details on upcoming visitation and memorial service information for friends and family. And finally, we wrap up with the NHL as M. Foligno chats with media following the thrilling 5-2 victory that secured the series win against the Dallas Stars. Stay with us all day for the full breakdown of these massive headlines. The Seattle Seahawks organization is deeply engaged across various facets of its operation, from recent draft decisions and coaching staff alignment to post-Super Bowl reflections and future strategy. Key figures, including General Manager John Schneider and head coach Mike Macdonald, have been actively engaging with the media to provide updates on the team's trajectory. Recent media appearances have focused heavily on the 2026 NFL Draft, with Schneider and Macdonald discussing selections like defensive backs Bud Clark and Julian Neal, as well as the decision to retain running back Jadarian Price, detailing his offensive role. Macdonald has also addressed the team's mindset heading into the 2026 season, emphasizing the importance of evolution and adapting defensive strategies, notably the preference for nickel formations, and the role of offensive coordinator Brian Fleury in developing a new offensive approach. Schneider stressed the critical elements of the NFL draft and free agency, underscoring the necessity of player fit, strong relationships, and maintaining team culture amidst coaching staff consistency challenges. He highlighted the success of the previous draft class and discussed the evaluation process for transfer portal players, mentioning prospects like Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet. Coach Macdonald has reflected on the Super Bowl victory, stressing the need to avoid complacency and focusing on defensive strategy and offensive adjustments. He emphasized the importance of the process leading up to the NFL Combine for assessing potential draft picks, and highlighted the value of versatile defensive players like Nick Imanwari in the scheme. Offensive leadership has seen the introduction of Brian Fleury as the new offensive coordinator, who brings a vision for an aggressive, fast, and violent offense, blending continuity with new ideas. Player perspectives following the Super Bowl are also providing crucial insight. Wide receiver Jaxon Smith-Njigba shared thoughts on Super Bowl preparation, emphasizing team success as their strongest attribute and highlighting the strong bond with teammate Devin Witherspoon. Smith-Njigba also praised quarterback Sam Darnold's leadership. Defensive leaders have also spoken candidly. Cornerback Devin Witherspoon detailed the defensive unit's strong connection, their dark side identity, and the importance of accountability, crediting Coach Macdonald for the foundation laid. Linebacker Ernest Jones, IV, described the defense as relentless and dominant, prioritizing team success over individual accolades and praising Macdonald's in-game adjustments. Safety Nick Imanwari addressed a recent ankle injury, but expressed confidence in his readiness for the Super Bowl, acknowledging his versatility and reflecting on his journey with the team. The overall narrative across these interactions underscores a focus on team culture, continuous adaptation, and preparation for the challenges ahead. The Trump administration has deferred an additional $91 million in Medicaid funding to Minnesota, citing escalating concerns over fraud vulnerabilities within state-run, federally funded social service programs. The decision was announced by Dr. Mehmet Oz, the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, who stated that searches conducted by federal agents at childcare and learning centers in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area revealed serious red flags. Oz indicated that $76 million of the deferred funds is tied to 14 service categories deemed highly vulnerable to fraud, while another $14 million relates to program integrity issues, specifically concerning payments made to ineligible individuals, including those potentially undocumented. The action comes amidst ongoing tensions between the administration and Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz characterized the deferral as part of a broader retribution campaign against the state, referencing earlier notifications from Vice President J.D. Vance that CMS had temporarily withheld $243 million due to fraud concerns associated with the Democratic administration. Minnesota had sued in response to the initial withholding, warning of potential cuts to health care for low-income families, though a judge declined to grant a restraining order. Walz criticized the administration's actions, asserting that while Minnesota was working to combat fraud, the Trump administration was actively seeking to exploit it and cut funding for essential services. Dr. Oz defended the deferral, emphasizing that the action was focused on protecting taxpayer money and ensuring accountability, stating, "This isn't about punishment, it's about partnership and accountability. We're offering Minnesota the support they need to fix these problems. But at the same time, we cannot and will not pay claims that don't meet federal standards." The controversy was fueled by a December video posted by right-wing influencer Nick Shirley alleging that members of Minnesota's Somali community were operating fake childcare centers to collect federal subsidies. Although state inspectors dismissed these specific allegations, Oz cited the video as justification for the funding deferral. The Minnesota Department of Human Services defended its record, asserting that it has been aggressively pursuing fraud and recouping improper payments for over a year. Commissioner Shireen Gandhi acknowledged the deferrals, but stated that the department would continue to fight against those targeting Medicaid programs. The deferral follows CMS's approval of a state corrective action plan in March, yet the withheld $243 million remains inaccessible. This latest move follows a previous statement from Oz indicating that CMS would require all states to detail their plans for revalidating some Medicaid providers as part of the administration's anti-fraud push. Venita M. Agni has passed away, with an obituary published on April 30, 2026. Friends and family are invited to read the obituary and share memories. Service details and updates will be provided as they become available. Visitation details are scheduled for Wednesday, May 6, 2026, from 10:00 a.m. to 11:00 a.m. Central Time, at the Bethany United Church of Christ located at 2341 W. Stephenson, St. in Freeport, IL 61032. Registration for the visitation has been completed, and attendees should expect a text message. The memorial service is scheduled for Wednesday, May 6, 2026, from 11:00 a.m. to 12:00 p.m. Central Time at the same location, Bethany United Church of Christ, 2341 W. Stephenson, St. Freeport, IL 61032. Tickets for the memorial service have been reserved, and contact will be made shortly. Information is also available for those seeking directions to the visitation and memorial service. The site indicates that 562 visits have been recorded for this obituary. In a decisive victory that secured the series win against the Dallas Stars, the coach of the M. Foligno team engaged in post-game media discussions following a 5-2 triumph on April 30th. The win marked a significant turning point in the series, with the coach offering insights into the team's performance and strategy during the intense contest. The post-game interview provided a look into the team's dynamics and the key factors that contributed to their success in overcoming the challenge posed by the Stars.